Hey guys, I've had a lot of questions about the tiny house. What does it look like while I'm staying in it? And other questions like that. So I wanted to show everybody what it looks like now that I'm staying in the tiny house part-time, not full-time, but part-time, trying to prepare it for full-time living, which takes some time to customize the space and things like that. And so I'm going to go around the house and show you different parts of the house and basically talk about what worked, what didn't work, and what I had to change. So I will start with the sitting area. The thing that I like the most about this space right here is that there's two doors, which means that it's just practical. So I come in this one mostly. When I'm setting up the hookups on that side, I can pop out and do that and pop back in this door instead of going all the way around. But then it's nice that once it's hooked up, I don't really have to walk over the hookups. I can go out the small door. And then the sitting area, I would not have been able to get this bench in here to work on it because it was much bigger before I started. I would not have been able to get it in here in the small door. I would have had to get it through the big door. If I didn't have the big door, this bench would not be here. So I want to talk a little bit about this space because people are asking me, where does the couch go? Where do you watch TV? Where do you eat? Things like that. I sit here and this board comes up, it slides out and it goes up top, and I'll show you guys in a minute. It goes up top and becomes a table. The thing that didn't occur to me is that if I have that as the table, I no longer have a space to sit. In the back of my head I thought, oh well, I'll get chairs. But then when it's in this formation, I have to find storage for the chairs, which I guess is underneath. But it's not that pretty and they would have to be folding chairs, so I'm not sure I really like that idea. I found this really cool table at the Cannery Row Antique Mall in Monterey, and it was actually not for sale, but the dealer allowed me to purchase it anyways. It was pretty old, pretty beat up. It had been modified in a bunch of ways. It looked like it used to be a coffee table and then became a table, and now it's gone back to being a bench. Sort of coffee table-esque. But I will show you guys right now the solution I came up with to the eating area. I like to sit and maybe cross my legs or sprawl out while I'm eating, so this enables that. It's not a perfect solution, but I really like it because it's comfortable, so even though it's kind of a pain in the butt to do, it only takes a minute and it's really comfortable to sit on this couch. It's actually a crib mattress, which is the reason it doesn't really fit. Eventually we'll get a custom cushion, but this was the cheap option and it's also really comfortable. And last night we had a lightning storm and I actually slept on the floor down here because I was really scared of watching the lightning come down from the sky to the ground over the tiny house in the skylights. That was really scary, so I slept on the crib mattress on the ground, so it's technically a guest bed. One thing I really love about the entryway is the copper pipe coat rack, which my mom gave me for Christmas, and I've had a lot of compliments on it. It's really well made. This is really beautiful, all of the hardware that they used. And there's actually supposed to be pents right here, but I haven't put them up yet. One thing on the entryway. Oh, my dog's leaving. Bye, Diego, love ya. This screen door is in the way of me entering the door a lot of the time, and it means I can't close it and have a doormat there at the same time. So I would like to get rid of the screen door. Even though it's really nice for airflow, I just feel like I'm getting stuck as I walk through with the bag and the dogs and everything like that. We've made some changes to the kitchen. Most of the changes have just been customizing storage. And a lot of people have asked us why we don't have an oven and why we don't have a microwave or a toaster oven. Personally, I really am glad that we don't have an oven because that would have been this space, and we have the dehumidifier there. But we can move the dehumidifier into the bathroom in the closet if we want. And it's nice to just have versatility of the space, especially since I'm always trying to fit this dog bed somewhere. Of course, TJ's taking the big bed and Diego's on the floor. The elderly dog is on the floor. But we have a toaster. This is actually our toaster. And it pops up. Let me put it on the stove. I sort of try to do this with one hand. You put it on the stove and put the pieces of bread on each side of it, and just turn the stove on. And it toasts things really nicely and it doesn't dry them out, which is nice. And we also use this as our coffee maker, which is a great addition. Jason got me this for Christmas. We use these shelves that Liz from Tumbleweed made. She's the cabinet maker there. I think it's fun because she's my same name. We use these shelves a lot for the things that we use often because it's so convenient to take things in and out. We do put the stuff in a bin when we're driving so that they don't fall and break on the counter. And these actually don't have a lot of storage space. I did not show this in the previous video. This is all of the inner workings of the tiny house. So I have a few different things on there, and I could customize this a lot, but we actually don't need any more kitchen storage right now, so I'm not that worried about it. This is our garbage can. We had a larger one, and we really don't produce that much trash, so it just seemed excessive to have a larger one. This one's really cute. It's a bucket. It's a wood bucket, but I got it at the Antique Mall on Cannery Row in Monterey. The washer dryer we use excessively. We use it every 2 or 3 days, and if we didn't have it, we would be in trouble because we really need to wash a lot, especially because of the dogs and because we're both so active. We have sweaty clothes and furry clothes and things like that. The sink, I have a little Tupperware container to hold all the things that usually sit along the sink because I like to wipe around the sink so it doesn't get waterlogged. And then I have a little soap dish for my sponge, which I think is cute. And I made this rack, and I'm going to cover this on my blog, but the left side has 4 magnets. Currently I'm only using 2 of the spaces, but it does have 4. And my mom had this great idea of using carabiners. I was just going to use hooks, but instead I used the loop hooks, and then I used carabiners to hang these. And there's actually a bag that goes around them so they can stay while we move, and we take the knife and the spatula and just put them in the sink. The fridge is large. So big freezer, big fridge. No, it's not for a family of 10, but it's certainly for a family of 2 or 4. And yeah. A lot of people ask me about food storage when I give tours. So we have a bin that is our pantry, and we have all of our stuff in here. It's just dry goods. We have such a large fridge, we really don't need that much storage space, but it does have pasta and rice and things like that. And we also have a rice maker in one of the drawers in the stairs. Jason got that for me for Christmas. And then we have our tiny house paperwork. And this is the dog food bin. The dogs get as much food storage space almost as we do. Right, guys? Diego, do you take up a lot of space? Diego, do you take up a lot of space? The bathroom I haven't made a lot of changes to. I have my shower curtain up here, which I cut at the bottom so it doesn't mildew. I have my cleaning supplies, my cleaning spray over there, and then I keep more cleaning supplies in this closet, and just toilet paper up there. I keep it in a bag to make it sort of look neat. I have my Clorox mop and the dust buster, and then the peat moss and the vinegar and the water spray for the composting toilet. I would not recommend a Swiffer for a tiny house, let alone any home, because the Swiffer handle doesn't have a 360-degree turn. So in order to clean the corners of a house, you have to levitate against the wall above the mop in order to get the corners. The Clorox mop and the Liebman, L-I-B-M-A-N mop, both have a 360-degree turn angle. Also, both of those mops that I just said have the refillable containers, so you can put spray, you can put lemon oil or whatever you want to put in it. And they also have the reusable washable pads. It's really a waste to just be throwing out the containers and the pads each time, and it's also really expensive. So my composting toilet, I actually think there might be some peat moss in there right now. Oh no, I didn't. I just put some peat moss in, but sometimes it gets stuck around the edges and it looks really gross, but it's just peat moss. I have a garbage can. And I got this during the storm in Monterey. It was a really crazy storm. It brought up a lot of driftwood, and I found this little piece, and so I nailed it to the wall. This is one of the Scott's toilet paper that doesn't have the tube in the middle, but it doesn't go on and off very easily. Once it's on, it's easy, but bringing it on and off isn't good. And I decided not to have curtains in the bathroom. I decided to use our towels as the curtains because that's what I was doing anyways. And then it works. And so why put something else up to hold the towels? I can use Jason's for privacy and he can use mine. I copied Jenna from Tiny House Giant Journey. And I did the floor flanges with copper piping for my curtain rod / towel rack. My mom also got me hooks for in the bathroom. There's 2 of them. One for my bathrobe and one for Jason's. I got Jason his bathrobe. It's not here right now because he is not here. But I really love these hooks. They're really nice. I'm going to show you the loft now. I really love the loft and I'm glad we don't have a railing because I can put my stuff right here and then just bring it down, which actually I think I was doing earlier and I forgot to move the stuff, but it's all right. I'll just go up here. This is a beautiful rug that I got from Delreen, who is my boyfriend's dad's wife, so kind of his stepmom, but he didn't grow up with her, so not really his stepmom. She made this by hand. It is cut wool and she wove it herself. I think this is just the sweetest gift and we really love it, and it's really nice on our knees. I originally wanted to have it downstairs, but it's so soft and so cushiony that I wanted to have it here because I actually walk, I almost just fell. I walk on my knees across this space and it's really nice to have some cushioning on my knees. And we have a mattress now with sheets. It's a queen size bed. It really is big enough. We don't need anything bigger. Even though I sleep in a starfish position, Jason puts up with me anyway. And again, my copycat rods. I actually spray painted these copper, which is what Jenna did. And yeah, and then one other thing is these are really cool. And we actually don't keep that much stuff in them, but they slam. I should have done a before and after video, but I don't want to hurt your ears. It's really loud when it slams. So I put little felt pads from Home Depot. They have Home Depot strips. And so I stuck them there so that it's not so loud when I close them. Otherwise it'll wake up the whole RV park. There's my sloth. His name is Tom Francis. Jason gave him to me for my birthday, for my 24th birthday. And I asked him for a teddy bear and he said that was just too traditional, and so he got me a sloth and he stuck it to the ceiling of the car when he took me out for dinner, and so I got in the car and there was a sloth above my head. His name is Tom Francis Flowers, and Jason Walker, who I know loves me very much, went to Build-A-Bear himself and made it for me, which is what makes it extra special. And he has Velcro hands. He's so cool. Not Jason. The sloth has Velcro hands. The last part of the house I want to talk about is the storage loft. We really need to customize it for our needs, which I knew we were going to have to do, but I didn't want to do it in advance because if I do it in advance and I didn't know what our storage needs were, I could get it wrong. We're also going to have to get a ladder because if we don't get a ladder, I'm eventually going to drop that big toolbox over there, which probably weighs 50 or 60 pounds on my head. And I basically just snatch it above my head and then catch it on the way down. And that's pretty scary, especially because sometimes I trip on TJ or Diego while I'm trying to catch it on the way down, and we kind of just end up in a heap. And Jason, as many of you know, got me a paddleboard for Christmas, which I think is lovely. And we went to Moss Landing and the pier in Monterey, and I'm really excited to go back to Orange County with it and spend some time paddleboarding there. But it actually fits just right in here, and I do keep it in here. Whenever I put it in here, people think I'm joking when I'm taking the paddleboard off the top of my truck and saying I'm going to put it in the house. And I'm not. I really do put it in the house. In fact, I'm thinking about making it so I can strap it down in here and then we can move the tiny house with it in it. The final thing I want to talk about, and I don't know why I'm sitting on these stairs. It's really not comfortable. My butt's too big. The final thing I want to talk about is moisture in the tiny house. No one's asked me about airflow in the tiny house. I wanted to cover it just because even though the aesthetics are really fun to talk about, I have to cover the airflow because I have realized how humid it gets in here, and that can cause mold and mildew, and it can cause the wood to swell excessively, which can damage the tiny house. So it can damage joints in the tiny house and things like that. We have the bathroom fan, the hood fan, the ceiling fan, and then the AC fan. The AC fan we don't run when we're on 30 amp. We only run it when we're on 50 amp. but we do use the fan all the time, and it's one of the fans that can blow up or down. In the winter you want it blowing up, and in the summer you want it blowing down, which was a great idea. Tumbleweed thought of that. That was a great idea. We need that definitely. And also when it's blowing up, it actually blows air into the loft, which is nice. And that gives great airflow, but it's still too humid. So we actually got a dehumidifier. It was a big expense. It was $300. And I just don't like dropping that much money on something, but I wanted to get a good quality one. It's 70 pints a day, and it really does fill up in a day. And so that just goes to show how much moisture is in such a small space.